So, team, welcome to tonight's hot seat. Our guest tonight is Andre, who has been with us a little bit over a year now, and he has made some fantastic progress, right? Guys, anyone we get into these hot seats are people that have done extremely well in, maybe one area, maybe two areas, but maybe all areas, but as someone that we can actually learn something from that, they're doing exceptionally well and are making really good progress. And of course, they have their challenges as well that they had to overcome. But again, there are things that we can also learn from, right? Not just the good things, but the bad things as well that had to maybe cause a bit of a setback that we overcame or whatever it may be. But the key is obviously that Andre has gotten to this point now where he's continually progressed to a point where he's well on his way to achieving much more now. His mindset is so much stronger, his physique is so much more developed compared to where he was at. And yeah, without further ado, we'll hand it over to you, Andre. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you like to do, and a little bit about yourself, essentially.
Hi, Caleb, and hello to everybody. My name is Andrei Soren. So what I like to do is obviously I train, I go to the gym, do a bit of jiu-jitsu, and I like to do a bit of running as well on the sides. Um, that's about it really.
Yeah, cool, cool, good stuff, good stuff. Now, tell us a little bit about what you tried before joining Progressive Fitness, the problems you were facing.
So my biggest issue was the diet. I've been in and out of the gym for a long time. I just had no, like, I didn't know what a diet was. Like I thought as long as you eat healthy, you're gonna lose weight or you're gonna put on weight. I didn't, you know what I mean? So my biggest struggle was like the diet. So I said by joining this, that would, you know, help me drastically, let's say. And it's been really easy since I've joined because I got rid of all my issues. I just all I have to do now is follow the program and it just gives you everything that you need to either go up in weight or go down in weight, or whether you're maintaining anything at all. So it's been really
Wh-
smooth.
What was it you tried beforehand, before joining? What were the methods you were using to try and lose weight?
So I did the keto diets. I did the eating once a day as well, which they're short term, they work for a while. Like you can't do them long
Mm,
term. They're not sustainable. Like if you're trying to lose weight quick, they're pretty good, but you're going to put the weight probably even faster back on and a few more kilos plus. But uh, yeah, I did that for a while, and obviously I was looking for a quick fix to a long term situation. So they never really helped. They helped for a while, but not long term.
yeah, and that's the thing, guys, with those diets like keto and intermittent fasting and stuff that can be really restrictive. It works while you do it, but it's not something you can keep doing. It's very unsustainable. You can't enjoy meals out. You can't, eat maybe with family when you want to eat. It just restricts so much, and it doesn't need to be like that. And it shouldn't essentially feel like you're on a diet, guys. It should be you should be eating food you love and enjoy, but obviously sticking within the calorie targets that's going to allow you to achieve the success that you want to achieve. But you mentioned the diet was the big thing you were struggling with, knowing what to eat, maybe when to eat, how to eat, and still eat foods you love and enjoy, right? But
Yeah.
how long would you say you were trying to solve this problem for?
Yeah, I think like if you do any sort of exercise, you're gonna, you know, like for me, it was always to lose weight. So I'd say, in and out the gym all my life, but in the last 2, 3 years, it's just gotten worse and worse. Like I was training, but I was putting on weight, and you know what I mean. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I'm eating healthy, but I was overeating the whole time because I wasn't tracking nothing. I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, as long as I eat healthy, I'm gonna lose the weight, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's a great point. That's a great point you just made there, guys. And I actually done a video about this recently. You might have seen it on the page, right? And I actually made this mistake as well before. You can eat all the healthy foods in the world you want, right? You can eat healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you can still overeat those healthy foods, which can
yeah,
cause you to gain weight. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean you won't gain weight, right? People always say that, oh, well, if I eat this, will I lose weight? If it's within your calories, you will lose weight. And that goes for bad foods as well, guys. Like, that's why I hate labeling stuff as actually good and bad, because you can lose weight eating McDonald's every day of the week, believe it or not. Are you going to feel good? Probably not, but scientifically you can. So the quantities is so important. And that was a big learning lesson for Andre and myself as well back in the day. Just because you're eating healthy doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. So, um, What impact would you say that was having on you? This weight gain over the 2 or 3 years, you couldn't figure it out. You were training away, but things were just getting worse. What impact was that having on you, your confidence, your mindset?
The impact was huge, and as in like I had the confidence was at all time low, and on top of it, I was drinking and doing everything, all sorts of stuff. Like I was going to the gym, and then every weekend you go out drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was dealing with mental health, as you know, when before they
Yeah.
joined too. So it was you're not feeling well mentally, and then you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you're seeing. So it's just gonna make things way worse. So for me, dealing with mental health and then the looking at myself, it just made everything 10 times harder. So it, being on this program, like looking back to where I was and where I am now, even if I'm not well here, at least I have certain things to look forward to. The program has built this mindset that there's no such thing as a bad day, and even if it is a not so good of a day, like you're still gonna get on with it, and you're gonna get
Mm.
a little bit done. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
my confidence for sure has skyrocketed since I've joined.
Yeah, and like the thing is, guys, confidence, where does it come from? Confidence comes from doing, doing the thing. It doesn't come from twiddling your thumbs, sitting at home, thinking about doing the thing, wishing you could do the thing or hoping. It actually comes from doing the thing, you know? Like Andre has challenged himself. He's competed in jiu-jitsu over the last year since he's been with us. He's been doing that at a weight class that he has no business even being in, but he put himself in there and challenged himself to do it, and he's many more goals to go and achieve with regards that now that he's reaching new levels with his body composition. Like to give you some context, guys, he started, I believe, at 108 kgs, and now he's just below 90. He's 89.9, so just basically 18 kgs of body fat shaved off. And it's been a process, like, he'll agree with me, I'm sure here, that it wasn't easy at times. There was challenges, there was different times where you plateaued and had to overcome that, but you're much more focused now on how you need to get to where you need to get to, right?
Big time, big time. And yeah, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been, but to be honest, it was up to me most of the times. As in, if I just followed everything, because I didn't follow everything to a T, but if I would have, it would have been a lot easier and smoother. But you have bad days, bad weeks sometimes, so you
Mm.
could just fall off track. But
Yes.
it never felt hard to do. I never even like. I just know, like I said to you before we started, I realized how much weight I've actually lost. You know what I mean? It never felt like, oh my God, I'm losing all this weight as I'm going. It's tough, it's difficult. It wasn't. It was literally one day at a time, and there was no pressure there at all. So it was smooth as
Yeah,
it can get, really.
that's it, guys. And like he said there, it's as easy as you make it, in the sense that if you do follow everything I give you, like I'm giving you the exact roadmap you need to get there. There will be challenges, there will be hurdles, life will get in the way, work, relationships, different things pop up, right? All these things that can happen. You get sick, you can get injured, right? No one can tell what will happen throughout the process, but it's all about how you respond to that, and obviously the sooner you can get back on the path and the blueprint that I've given you, obviously the better the results. But I do understand there will be times where there will be setbacks, and that's where I'm there to help guide you, obviously, through them. And Andre was open and honest to me throughout the whole journey, which allowed me to help him even more. He
Yeah.
opened up when he was struggling. He reached out when he needed help, and that's what allows someone to keep moving forward rather than staying stuck and staying in their own head and burying their head in the sand, because that doesn't get you anywhere, right?
Yeah, no, big time. And I want to say a big thank you to you as well, because on just it wasn't just being there for me with the weight. You were there for me when I needed certain things as well. Like, do you know what I mean? I've been through a lot this year, as you know, and you were there for me as well. So I wanted to say a big thank you to that. I know you're not a therapist or not like that here, but I really appreciate that as well. I just want to say thank you.
No, no problem, like no problem at all. And for any of you here, guys, like he's right. I'm not a qualified therapist, but my door's always open or anything like that. If you need to reach out, sometimes if you are struggling, it just helps to have someone there at the end of the phone to hop on a call or pop a message to, and just share your thoughts or do a brain dump or get whatever's on your chest off your chest. Let's talk about the results where you're at right now. What is life like now for you at the moment?
It's pretty good. I mean, I've everything. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I have so many goals. I know exactly what I'm doing each day. And even if something does go wrong, I don't let it get to me. I could still, work around it. So I could say life is pretty balanced, and that's all I want. It's stable, like just I don't want every day to be perfect. It's just impossible to do. But I just want it to be good, normal, okay. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Just build. a little bit each day, like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what impact would you say this has had on your life then?
The impact has been massive. I just feel like a completely different. I feel like I could do anything, right? Even if it's delusion, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I could do absolutely anything I put my mind to. The impact has been great. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I went from the lowest to the lowest to just being a normal person. I don't know how to say. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to where I am, and I feel like with the help of this program, it's just made me almost feel like I could do anything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, it's just a really positive message. That's all I can say.
yeah, your self-belief, right, has
That's
come on so much.
yeah.
Because before that self-belief wasn't there. Maybe the belief that you could even lose the weight initially because you'd struggled for so long. Maybe thinking things are broken, my body doesn't work like it should. And these are the beliefs that you can get over time when things don't go your way. And trust me, guys, I've seen it, I've heard it all before. People do believe genuinely that they are stuck sometimes. And it's just because of the principles or the processes that they've been following haven't been in line with where they want to get to, and they're just lost. They're overwhelmed. They're unsure, and they can feel like nothing can work until it does. Until you find something that actually does work. Okay, so do you feel for you it's been worth your effort and your time invested so far into the program?
Yeah, I even wrote it down here. It's just a simple answer. It's just yes. But there's no such thing. There's not one negative that is going to come out of this. It's going to completely change your life. And you don't even. I feel like half of the time didn't have to do anything. I just followed. Like like he's spoon feed a baby. Like he's kind of. Yeah, that's the way I felt. I was just kind of getting carried to where I am now. So I'd 100% say yeah. It's a no-brainer. The only regret I have is not joining sooner. That's the only regret I have, to be honest.
That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. But look, I always say the best time to start was obviously maybe way back when, but the second best time is when you did make the
Yeah.
plunge to do it, because so many people they kick the can down the road forever and then they look back and say, "Oh, should have done it back," you
Yeah. Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
again, when you decide to do it is the time you decide to do it. Now, let's dig into some of the key principles that have worked well for you, Andre, over the last number of months or so, right? So
Mm.
we'll talk about nutrition first, and you can think of these as almost hacks or things that have worked well for you, okay? So in regards to nutrition, what kind of key principles have worked well for you to help you lose that 18 kgs or so?
So I have them written down here. Like, I just think I have a little memory of fish. So I said tracking calories is a big one. Obviously, tracking what's coming in and what's coming out. That was a big thing. Then I have
Yeah.
meal prep. Like, meal prepping was a big, huge one for me. Cooking at home. And if you don't have time, you could buy there's fit meals as well. There's little small fit meals. They also really help. And then weighing the food, whether you have time to do it or not, it doesn't take that long. It takes you like 2 seconds. That was a big, you know how much you're taking in basically.
Yeah.
So whether you're going up or down, like, you know what I mean? It's huge to know. That helped me a lot. It was a big, big.
Yeah, really, really good principles there, guys, and things that people can just say, "Oh, I just couldn't be bothered weighing things out," but it can be the difference between you actually progressing and staying stuck, right?
Mm.
Because as humans, right, we're actually terrible estimators, and I actually think I sent this to you before,
Yeah.
Andrea. There was a study done, and we're terrible estimators in the sense that we always underestimate how
Hmm.
much we eat and we overestimate how much we move.
I
And
had
because
that issue. Yeah.
yeah, because of that, it can cause people to have this warped perception of that they're actually doing things right. Oh, I'm eating everything perfect. I'm eating clean. I'm eating healthy. But are you eating too much, right? Because you're estimating rather than when you go and you track properly, you weigh things out until you really learn portion control and you can do things by eye, which again is a skill that you learn from tracking. Then it becomes so much easier to make progress. So really love that principle. Such an important one to highlight. Same with the meal prep. What gets measured, gets managed, gets improved, something we always say, but it's organization as well. Sorry, just mute whoever's chatting there. And we'll pin you to the screen. So Meal prep is huge, guys, because if you're organized for the week, you're less likely to make a choice that isn't going to serve you. You know, you're like sometimes if something's not there, you can just say, "Do you know what, I'll just grab the takeaway instead, or I'll just, you know, eat a few snacks instead. Eat a few. It never ended up eating the full meal, and then you're starving later, so you just go back for more, right? So again, it's just being organized, and like Andre said here, the fit meals can fill a gap if you're stuck. You know, like the macros are pretty decent in them these days. You know, sometimes it'll get you out of a hole rather than if you don't have a meal prep, you can go and get your 40, 50 grams of protein in the meal and usually under 500 calories. They're good options, right? And they're really good tips to give there. Now, really love those. Let's move on to mindset now. What key principles do you have for us around your mindset?
The same. I have three things here. It's so I used to say, and a lot of people around me as well, they like I used to always say, I need to get to the gym, I need to go to train, and you know what I mean. So I changed the way I say things nowadays. So I think of it now as I get to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I'm getting to go to the gym. I'm getting to walk my dog. I'm getting to go training. So I'm lucky. I'm saying I'm lucky to get to do all these things, right? So that was a big, huge one for me. Um,
Yeah,
then
love
again,
that.
then again, I everyone wants a quick fix, like myself. You want everything to change. You want to have a six pack in 2 hours if you can. You know what I mean? But that's not the way life works. So I said here, one day at a time. It's not a race, so just take it by each day at a time. Don't think you're gonna just enjoy the process. Don't Just take one day at a time, and it will get there eventually if you put in the work. Consistency is key. So that was
Absolutely.
that was another one. And then the biggest one when it comes to mindset was setting goals. That's how I stayed disciplined throughout all this. Like good things don't come easy, right? So if you set yourself a few goals, whether they're just, let's say, walking the dog, going to the shop, doing your bed, they might be little small goals to everybody, and they might be laughing at them, but they're still goals. And if you get them done, that's a positive thing, and your mind sees that as positive, so it's gonna translate into life, So
Absolutely.
that was another one for me.
Really like those, man. Really like those. You know, the first one there, just to recap that, like reframing things is such a powerful thing to do because it changes the perception of something in our mind. You know,
Mm.
oh, I have to go to the gym today. If you start saying that to yourself, you're not going to want to go, right? You know, it's something that we get to do, guys. And this is a great thing to do. I've used this strategy myself in the past. You know, I get to do this, and sometimes I think about people that aren't fortunate enough to do it, and I'm
Yeah,
like, they wish they could do that. You know, you get to do this, and I remind myself of that. You know, people that might have a disability, people that can't physically do it even as much, they'd probably love to be able to have the ability to change their physique, to improve their body. So these are things that we get to do, and we can do that with almost anything, guys. It's reframing things, and like you said, you're reminding yourself how lucky you are. That's gratitude. We only
yeah,
talked about this last week in the
yeah,
training that we did. Gratitude is the attitude. I
yeah,
definitely recommend watching that if you haven't seen it already. But it's the very same thing. It's like just being grateful for the present moment that you get to go and train, you get to do this. Like, it's such a powerful mindset to have, guys. I recommend everyone practice gratitude every day, at least once, even twice if you can. I usually do it just before I go to bed at night or first
mm,
thing in the morning. And it sets the tone for the day and allows me to go and have a restful night's sleep as well, you know, because I'm grateful for what just went down. I find two
yeah,
or three things that happen throughout the day, and it just really, really helps keep you in that positive state of mind. Um, the process as well, trying to enjoy that. Some things people get so caught up on is wanting the result now, wanting it
yeah,
here and now, and not wanting to go and do the work, right? But that's the whole fun part. The
yeah,
fun is the process. Like if I just goes right, boom, Andrew, there you go. You're down to 84 kgs tomorrow. You
yeah,
get there and you don't feel fulfilled. You know, you
yeah,
get there, you're like, ah, Jesus, is that all? Is that all it is? It's the
yeah,
fulfillment and the enjoyment comes from actually putting in the effort. Because then when you get there, you actually feel great about it. You look back just like you were looking back on the last year, you know, and
yeah,
you worked hard to get here. Whereas if you just got here without putting in any effort, you wouldn't feel as good about it. So
yeah,
really, guys, try enjoy the process. It's such an important thing to do, and goal setting as well. You know, regularly set goals. Try and do it at least every quarter if you can. Might be hard sometimes, but when you're planning ahead, you've something to aim for, and it might be as simple as, do you know what, I'm going to go for a few more walks these
yeah,
next once, or it could be that easy. I'm gonna try and get to the gym for one extra day, or I'm gonna, you know, go out of my way to see some friend I haven't spoken to. It can be like small even goals like that. It doesn't always have to be fitness or health, but setting little goals for yourself can just keep you focused on the future in a good way rather than negative. Because when you've nothing to aim for, it can look a bit bleak at times, right? You're like, what's happening? What does to look forward to? Have things that you want to aim towards and look forward to. It's so important. So really love those. Really like those mindset principles you shared. So important, guys, just to um emphasize the difference that these can make, okay? But now we'll move on to lifestyle, which is a very important principle as well. They're all important, but lifestyle is something I do know people struggle with quite a lot to get that balance right. So let's share a few key principles around that that's worked well for you.
Perfect. Thank you. I hope these are good enough, but these work for me. It's again to go back to changing the mindset a little bit. It's kind of the mindset was like think positively. That's a lifestyle change that I didn't have before. It was always negative. I always used to expect the worst. So if you do that, nothing good is going to come from it. So now I changed that. I tweaked that a little bit to where no, not delusional. I think everything's going to be, rainbows and flowers. But I just think if I try to get a positive out of any situation. You know what I mean? Even when we're training, whatever the day does, the train doesn't go good. I'm still thinking I got it done. I'm happy.
Mm.
That's positive. You know what I mean? So that was one of them. Then the way I'm looking at myself, I'm respecting myself more, right? I'm saying good things. Like I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, right, like we've achieved all this now. Like what more can we do? Like even if I don't feel like I look good that day or whatever, I'm still saying good things about myself. Like so, yeah,
Yeah,
self respect, self aware. It's important again, and
yeah,
then just being grateful I get to do this for another day. Again, as you were saying this about earlier, but we we're basically a walking. We don't know if you're going to get tomorrow or not. Like so,
mm,
just being grateful and appreciating that you get to do another day. You get to do all of this, and just looking at it in this direction, it'll help you achieve all these goals so much easier. Well, it did for me anyway. So
yeah,
that's my
yeah.
way of thinking now.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And like they, you can see how lifestyle and mindset can kind of tie in together there, guys, because if you're like, you don't always have to be going around like constantly giving yourself positive affirmations, right? All day, every day. But it's
Yeah,
just every now and again when you feel the mood dips and you should be like, you know what? I've done a lot to get here to where I am today, or pull something out of your day that went well if you're having a bad day, because like you said, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. There is going to be challenges. Like you might have a terrible gym session, let's say, and then you can start to cast doubt over yourself by going, what's the point of training now? What's the point of even going if I'm not even making progress with my lifts? But that's not the way to look at it at all, because if that was the case, every time you went in there and it all went perfectly, we'd all be walking around like the Incredible Hulk, right? It's not
Mhm.
realistic, you need to be realistic. Like getting in there is more to do with what it does for your mind, for your head, than what it does for your body, guys. And it took me a little bit of time to realize that, but it's what it does for your head, the exercise side of it. I'm not just saying the gym, I'm talking about any exercise here. Running, going to the gym, doing a sport, that stress relief, that release of feel good endorphins, it'll do more for you than any medication can, or any um thing a doctor can prescribe, okay? And again, this is what allows you to respect yourself more, because you're going doing difficult things. And when you go and challenge yourself to do difficult things, it builds resilience. You become that person that you're wanting to be. Like it's very easy to stay at home and do nothing, right? That's the comfort zone. We all know what happens in the comfort zone. You stay comfortable and nothing ever changes. You just stay where you are, and it's nice and it's warm there, and you don't go outside and get wet with it. You don't, come home sweaty or anything like that. It's all very comfortable. But nothing good ever happens there, guys. Trust me on that. I'm not saying never ever be there. There's times where you can dip in and out of it. You don't always have to be uncomfortable all day, every day, but
Yeah.
dip into uncomfort sometimes, because you will become more comfortable than being uncomfortable, which makes you a stronger person as well.
You start
Okay?
to enjoy it too. You start to enjoy it too,
Exactly. You feel
Yeah.
great when you do
Yeah.
it then, because you're like, geez, this. again, release of feel good endorphins you get from pushing yourself outside the comfort zone. It's incredible. Okay, so um, solid shares there. Really love that around the awareness, the self awareness, self respect, the gratitude as well. Solid stuff. Let's move on to the final point here now on the principles that I want you to share around training. So tell us some key principles around training that have worked well for you.
Again, I'm going to go back on some of the things we've already talked about, but one of them is just to follow the program. Everything's there for you. You don't really have to do much. For me, it was just literally clicking in the boxes, doing exactly what I was told, and it got me to where I am. Another one was to enjoy the process, right? Like you said earlier, if you're not enjoying it, because like now I'm here, 20 kilos almost down, and when you were talking earlier, I even realized I'm like, did I enjoy the whole thing? Because I'm here now and I lost all this weight. I didn't even realize it
Yeah,
until I was training the other day in the gym. I told I was going to say the story earlier, and one of the lads didn't actually shook my hand to say hello because he hasn't seen me in months, and he didn't recognize me, even though I've tattoos and whatever. But he said he actually halfway through the session he's like, "Is this you?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I was like, "I didn't recognize you. Everyone saying hello," and I can't remember his name actually, but you know him as well. And
yeah,
yeah, just enjoying the process a little bit as you go. And then obviously tracking everything you're doing. Again, going back to tracking, there's no point in just like you want to build up each day, each week. I never implement, like I never had that before. I'd go to the gym, do whatever exercises, and next week I'll go in and do them again. Oh, I'm heavier this week. Then the week after, I'm like, oh, I'm weaker now. So just tracking and trying to build. Like if you're doing 20 kgs every week, let's say you're doing it for 7 reps or whatever, try to do it for 10. Little things like that. But tracking and writing it down, or even clicking in the boxes
yeah,
is really, really
absolutely.
helpful.
Yeah, solid shares there. Like the tracking guys, we said this on nutrition already, but it's actually the very same with your training
Mm.
because what gets measured can get managed and can get improved again, right? So if you think about it, if you're going into the gym and you're lifting the same weights for the same reps week in, week out, are you actually giving your body a reason to change? Realistically, is it? There's not really, right? Unless you're creating some sort of stimulus that's making it a little bit more difficult. Now, you can do that many different ways by getting an extra rep, by adding a little bit of weight, or by even slowing down the movement of the exercise, creating more time under tension. Any one of those principles will work, right? Ideally, the reps and the progressive overload with the weights is the way to go because it's easier to monitor because it's very hard to track time under tension in your head sometimes, unless you're counting for every single exercise and rep that you're doing, right? So tracking on the app, following the plan, being disciplined with it. It's all there laid out for you guys. The blueprint is there. That's why we call the program Progress Blueprint, because if you follow the blueprint, it will get you from where you're at to where you want to be. Okay? And it really is that simple. It's a
Yeah.
proven blueprint. It's worked here with Andrew. It's worked with many different people that have been through the process and what you've all seen before and that can vouch for it, right? So it's just a matter of implementing what's there and obviously learning as you go through it, you know, try and enjoy the process, like you said, because there will be challenges at stages. But just remember, guys, when the challenges do happen, don't say how you phrase it. Like Andre said this earlier as well, is like you think positively even about the challenges if you can. And I know it is counterintuitive to do because when something bad happens, it's automatically going, oh no, the world's going to end, right? But if you can think about it in the sense that instead of why is this happening to me, you say, what is this teaching me? Or what can I learn
Mhm.
from this? What can I get from this situation? How can I improve next time to make this better? That's the way to look at challenges. That's what's going to build you a stronger mindset, and that's what's going to allow you to keep progressing. Okay, so really like those incredible shares there, all the
Thank
way
you.
from the nutrition, the mindset, the lifestyle, the training, and a lot of value to take from everyone listening back. Okay, so last couple of questions there now for you, Andre. Okay,
Mm.
what would life be like for you if you think you stopped after the first 3 months?
Honestly, I think it was. I think I was thinking about this answer, and I think if you even do this for 3 to 6 months, right, with the amount of knowledge that's there, I know you can get it anywhere, but the way it's put and whatever, you could easily go on and do whatever on your own. You know what I mean? Like I could have stopped after 6 months, but to me, it was more accountability, like, being having somebody there to, push it, and just knowing that you're doing this for yourself, but you're somebody to, how would you say?
Hold you to that higher standard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just keeping you, accountable in the end. But I that's it really for me. Like, I'm happy to be with somebody. Like, it's a lot easier for me to work in that way. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lazy way of doing it, but to me, it
No,
works.
it's not in a sense that like it's like someone that's playing for the team, right? If
Mm,
the manager goes away and they just have to play for the team themselves, it can be very hard for them to give it their all. Whereas to
mm,
have someone there that's holding them accountable, they automatically will raise their standards to the level that they're expected to reach. And that's what coaching is, it's about raising your standards to the point where you might struggle to hold yourself, but eventually, hopefully, you can get to that point where you will be able to sustain it for the future, because that
yeah.
is the key. Like, I don't want anyone going back to where they were before they started, that is the thing. No one should be going back there with
Mhm.
what we're trying to teach inside this program. But what advice would you give to someone who's maybe in the same place you were before you started?
Right. The biggest one is just going for it. Like, when I was like, I'm putting myself in where I was when I got onto you. I was desperate. I was just lost, completely lost. So I would say just completely go for it, because there's no, there's nothing negative I could tell you about all this. It's all positives for me. It's changed my whole life for the better, mentally. And even if I stopped 6 months ago, I still be, I think, in this place right now, because it changes your mentality to the point where you don't need anybody else there for you. You know what I mean? Even though for me that's what I needed to get to this place. Now I could go do it alone. But I'd say, if you're I could promise you one thing is you'll never regret. You know what I mean? Like, you'll never regret doing it. It's a no brainer for me. And like I said, I wish I did it a lot sooner, because I would have been in a different position. But I'm just happy that I did it when I did it, and I'm here now.
Yeah, yeah. And what advice would you give then to someone on the fence about jumping into this program like this that might be a bit nervous or apprehensive or scared? Because people are,
Yeah, yeah.
they've been burned before in the past, and you can understand that.
I remember. I think I got onto you, and then you rang me, and I think we had a small phone call, or like something similar to this. I remember just sweating coming off that phone call. I think it was like 10 minutes. I was sitting in the car, 109 kilos, just sweating from just talking to you, right? And then I was just sitting there. I just realized, I was like, "What did I just do?" I was like, "What did I just get myself into?" You know what I mean? Like, because you're like, "Look, if you're really serious about this, let's do it." I only want winners. Or whatever. Like, we wanted to do something good here. And I was doubting myself. I was scared. I was already anxious. I'm an anxious person. So I was like, oh, no way. And what am I doing? But look where it got me. And I'm nothing but grateful that I'm here, and that I did make the choice to go for it.
Yeah, and that's so normal, guys. What Andre just shared there. Everyone's nervous at the start. It's
Yeah.
normal. If you're not, I think there'd be something wrong with you, right? You're doing something again at that very time where you were struggling in a bad place. It was so outside your comfort zone, right?
So
You were
different.
thinking, what am I after getting myself into here? And that's so common, but it's only when you start and get stuck in and do the thing. Remember, I said that to you earlier, guys, about going and doing the thing. That's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from taking action and doing the thing. Then you know you're on the right path and you know you're making moves in the right direction. So tell me, Andre, what does the future look like for you then, man?
I think it's only upwards from here, Callum. I mean, I have the mentality, I have the discipline, and I have the goals to go achieve whatever I want. Like I said to you, I'm gonna compete and do the same for next year. I'm just looking on to bigger and better things, but I'm still gonna continue to be with you at the same time, because for me it's just working so well that I don't see why I should change it. I mean, it's I don't, I've getting a lot of people that talk about, I can't afford this or can't do that. I've had times where I've had issues in real life, and you worked around it with me. So it's not about the money and stuff like that. There's no excuses not to do it. But I'm I think I'm really happy and grateful, to be honest. And I think nothing but good things are going to come from this. Going up.
Absolutely. 100%, bro.
Yeah.
100%. Is there anything you'd like to close by saying?
Yeah, I just first of all I want to say a big thank you to you and to everybody watching, obviously. But it's been a journey. It's been, like, looking back, it's crazy. Like even sitting here, I'm like, oh, it's already that long, and I kind of miss it now. Even though I'm still on it, I kind of miss,
Yeah.
you know, you know what I've been through. But I'm just looking forward to building and seeing where it could take me. And like I said before, if you're like me, scared, anxious, and doubtful about joining something like this, thinking it's not going to work out, honestly, just please go for it. If I could tell anybody one thing, is just fully go for it. Don't look back, and you'll be sitting here like me, all nervous and happy to, just be on a phone call with you. But yeah, no, I was really, really happy about all this, and I appreciate you even having me on here, in front of everybody. So
My pleasure, bro. My pleasure. No, it was great having you on. I knew you'd have some incredible shares, and you're getting some love in the chat here as well.
yeah, I
Which
appreciate it. Thank you.
we'll share in a minute. But guys, that's what these hot seats are all about. It's getting people on and just being open and honest and raw about their experience. And yeah, it's incredible to see the growth that Andre has had, and it just goes to show, no matter where you are in life, guys, like you can be down in the dumps in the pits. Like Andre will tell you, he was coming from like a really difficult place when he started, and the doubt was there even when he started. But it's only when you get stuck in and start getting things done and start to see changes, because nothing changes if nothing changes, guys. I use that phrase a lot, but it's so true. Things just stay the same. So, no, I'm really happy, man, that you got stuck in, and you believed in me and you believed in yourself, most importantly. That's a big thing, and that self belief is growing all the time compared to where you were when you first started. It's on a whole other level, right? So, we'll share a little bit about what's happening in the chat here. Siobhan says, "Love the honesty. Well done, Andre." 18 says, "I love the point about the small wins every day. Having little
Thank you.
goals and ticking them off daily. It might seem small to someone else, but at the end of the day, you feel like you've accomplished something with your day and you're a step closer to your end goal." And that's it, guys. It's just small little things, ticking them off day by day. That's what compounds over time to get you to that big end goal, to
Yeah.
get you down like nearly the 20 kgs that you're down, to get you feeling confident in yourself again, to get you challenging yourself, like stepping onto the mats and jiu-jitsu and competing. All these different things is like little wins each and every day, not just once a week, not just twice a month. It's consistent wins day by day. It's like building blocks in a house. Okay. Nicole says, "Well done, Andre. Amazing achievement so far. Best of luck on the rest
Thank
of
you.
your journey." So,
Thank you.
anyone else want to share anything, guys? Pop it into the chat. Any questions that you have that you'd like to ask myself here or even Andre, before we close off? I hope you enjoyed this one. It's actually the first hot seat we've done with someone in a while. We had special guest hot seats on in the last few months with John Mitchell and Jake O'Brien. You would have seen, but I think May was the last one we've done with a client. So we'll try and do these again more regularly, guys. So another emphasis to push on and drive on and see what you can do. And as I said, we're always happy to get people in the hot seat that's doing extremely well. Nicole here, who commented, was actually on it as well herself, and we've
Yeah.
had probably a few others here. So it's always good, guys, because like it might be just one thing that someone says that can change your whole trajectory and the progress that you make. Might be a light bulb moment, or you might be able to relate to something that Andre said or anyone else that was in a hot seat said, that can fire you up to get you to where you need to be.
And
Okay,
another
so
thing, if you don't mind, quickly, sorry
yeah,
to interrupt. I see there's a lot of. It's very hard to find the time nowadays for people to join these things, and they're like, I don't have the time to do this. So like I'm lucky enough. I have the gym where I work, so I could just go in there. But even if you do something small, like whether it's a half an hour walk and even a 10-minute walk or anything at all, walking the dog, whatever it is, it adds up, right? So it's each day, small, but each day. Like I go in sometimes, I only have half an hour, let's say, to go to the gym before it closes. I'll go in and stretch or go onto the
yeah,
treadmill or something small. But I think of it at the end of the week, if I do it 5 times, it's going to add up to 2, 3 hours. You know what I mean? So little steps
absolutely.
each day. Don't say, oh, there's no point, I'll go tomorrow. Go in and do it, and you'll always feel better.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. 30 minutes like is always better than nothing.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
10 minutes even is always better than nothing, right? It's just moving your body more, and moving your body. Movement is like medicine for the body, It really is. It does. It makes such a difference. And obviously, giving it the right kind of fuel, like we've spoken about, ties into that, and everything's tied in together. The sleep, the habits that you're creating, the steps that you're doing each day, it all adds up, like Andrea said, and it all ties in together to get you the results that you want to get. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. There's no other shares. 18 just as well done, Andre. Incredible results, mentally and physically. And yeah, it is incredible, man. I'm really excited to see now how you do in the final couple of months of this year. Big
Yeah.
push on, some big goals in the new year. And
Yeah.
I've no doubt about it, you'll achieve them, right? Just stay focused, keep that same mindset now that you're after developing, and you'll reach new heights. Absolutely sure of that. Okay?
Appreciate your time, like always. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for having me.
No worries, no worries. So thank you everyone for coming along tonight. It was a great turnout, and hopefully you took some value from this session. And if there's anything you'd like to ask in private, just let us know. There's no problem at all. Reach out. Stephanie says, "Well done, Andre." And yeah, that's it, guys. We'll land the plane there. I'll let you go about the rest of your Thursday evenings and enjoy it. And look, if there's anything you need, you know where I am. Feel free to reach out at any time, okay?
Thank
Let's
you.
leave it there, guys. Thank you so much, Andre. Take it
Cheers.
easy, bro. Chat to you
Appreciate it.
later, okay?
Yes, sir.
Nice one. See you guys. Talk to you soon. Legend, bro. Take it easy.
Thank you. All the best, brother. Thank you.